Gale would have scored whether that ball was kept on the infield or not.
3-2 fastball, supposed to be in on the hands, got too much plate.
The 2-2.
Baseball fans are some of the most passionate supporters in the world. From incredible catches to hilarious stunts, there is nothing that you can't expect from them.
Tripping.
Well, he did catch that. That was nice.
For example, the man with 3 hands. Oh yes, it's true. Well, not literally, but for dramatic effect. The video of a dad dropping his baby while attempting to catch a foul ball at a baseball game quickly went viral in 2018. Ever since that, it has become a widely discussed topic on social media. But do not fret, the ending isn't what you'd expect. The incident occurred during a game between the Chicago Cubs and the Houston Astros, where the dad reached out to catch a foul ball while holding his baby in one arm. As he attempted to catch the ball, he lost his grip on his baby, who fell onto the ground.
Adrian Gonzalez leans in and over and can't hang on.
Wait a minute, they got to call that, right?
I know, you're screaming hearing that, but the dad was able to quickly react and catch the baby before he hit the ground. He then held up the ball triumphantly while still holding the baby in the other. But what's even more interesting is the fact that along with the baby and the ball in one hand, he had a cup of beer in the other. Hence, I call him the man with 3 hands. Many people were shocked and horrified by the incident, as it appeared that the dad had put the safety of his child at risk.
Before it gets to Honeycutt, and there's a 2-out RBI single off the bat of Jonathan Luters that scores Hernandez and Seaton.
But eventually they saw the incident as a funny and harmless mistake, which I too think it was. After all, all's well that ends well, right? And how about an animal fan? Enter the rally squirrel. During the 2011 baseball season, a small but mighty squirrel became an unlikely hero and fan favorite at a number of games. Rally squirrel made its first appearance during a game between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. As all squirrels do, it ran and ran onto the field during the bottom of the 5th inning. But what happened next was nothing short of remarkable. The squirrel ran across the home plate just as a pitch was thrown.
Rally squirrel is back, Danny. That's a cat. Squirrel. That's a cat. Somewhere, Tony La Russa.
Causing the pitcher to become momentarily distracted. The Cardinals' Skip Schumacher, who was up to bat, ended up hitting a double, and the Cardinals went on to win the game. Talk about luck. Understandably, after that game, the rally squirrel became a sensation. Fans started bringing signs and wearing t-shirts with the squirrel's likeness on them.
There it is. Ow, ow.
Interestingly, the squirrel made appearances at a number of games after that, running around the field and even making its way into the Cardinals' dugout at one point. Guess we can just give it the award for the cutest MLB fan. But now for some serious stuff in the senseless fan attack of 2011. On March 31st, 2011, the San Francisco Giants played their opening game of the season against their arch rivals, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The match took place at the Dodger Stadium. But the match wasn't the only thing that made headlines that day. In fact, an incident in the parking lot of the stadium became bigger news than the match itself. It would change the lives of many people forever. After the game, 2 men wearing Dodgers jerseys began taunting a group of Giants fans in the parking lot. The verbal altercation quickly turned violent as the 2 men attacked Brian Stowe, a Giants fan, and beat him severely. Stowe was knocked to the ground and hit his head, causing him to suffer a traumatic brain injury. Unfortunately, the injuries were serious and he had to be rushed to the hospital in critical condition. There, he underwent emergency surgery to relieve the pressure on his brain. His condition remained critical for several weeks, and he was placed in a medically induced coma to aid his recovery. Despite undergoing an intensive recovery program, Stowe suffered long-term damage. This included a permanent disability and ongoing health complications. That's as unfortunate as it can be, and calls for proper measures to be put in place, especially because things have always been a little too wild in the Dodger Stadium. Take a look at the flag burning from as back as 1976. During a game at Dodger Stadium in 1976, 2 protesters attempted to burn an American flag on the field, but Chicago Cubs center fielder Rick Monday quickly took the flag from them and prevented the desecration. You know how you can't take smokes and lighters to a stadium anymore? I think incidents like these are the reason why. Although, if given the chance, people would do worse things than just burning a flag. But even that is considered a huge crime. Monday stated that he was angry when he saw the protesters start to harm the flag and was grateful to be able to do something about it. The incident occurred during the nation's bicentennial year and drew significant attention. It highlighted the importance of respecting national symbols and the responsibility of athletes to represent their country well. The act of flag burning remains controversial, and many see it as disrespectful to the United States. In fact, no country in the world allows for the burning of its flag. In most of these countries, it's a punishable act. But on a lighter note, let's talk about Steve Bartman. In 2003, during Game 6 of the NLCS, Chicago Cubs fan Steve Bartman interfered with a foul ball. This resulted in him being the most hated man in Windy City. I don't know why that makes me laugh though. The Cubs were leading 3-0 at the time, but ended up losing to the Florida Marlins. Sheesh. It does make sense why everyone hates Bartman. But to explain what happened, Bartman was sitting in the front row along the left field foul line. He reached out to catch a foul ball that was within reach of Cubs outfielder Moises Alou. Alou was visibly upset, and the Cubs' lead soon vanished. Of course, Alou was upset. Bartman was quickly vilified by Cubs fans and the media. He received death threats and had to be escorted out of Wrigley Field by security. In the end, Bartman's interference was just one small part of the Cubs' collapse in the 2003 NLCS. The Cubs went on to win the World Series in 2016, ending a 108-year championship drought. However, the memory of Bartman's incident still lingers in the minds of many Cubs fans. But I hope it's a funny one instead of a sad one. And how about some 10-cent beer? During a promotion for a Cleveland Indians game in 1974, 10-cent beer night quickly spiraled out of control. Fans were allowed to buy up to 6 beers at a time, which led to a crowd that was not only rowdy, but also incredibly inebriated. The game became chaotic when a fan ran onto the field and attempted to steal a player's hat. What is going on here? That's probably what every sane person in the stadium thought that day. The attempt to steal a player's hat resulted in members of the Texas Rangers charging onto the field. Fans wielding knives, chains, and other weapons joined in the chaos, and the situation quickly became violent. The situation was so out of control that the game had to be forfeited, with the Indians losing to the Rangers 5-0. This infamous promotion demonstrated the potential dangers of encouraging excessive drinking, and I'm sure the Indians organization and other teams would have learned from this and decided to press pause on promotional events. Still, the game is remembered as one of the most infamous events in baseball history. Plus, it serves as a cautionary tale for sports teams when planning promotions. Is it just me, or were the 70s really wild? Thank God that better sense prevailed, and we now have much smarter and thought-out rules in place to avoid situations like these. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that I'll see you in the next one as well.